Give me a second. I got to get it up on my other computer. Let's see if it's going to cooperate today. Yay. All right. And I got to get it up on my other computer. 1 second here to mute. All right. Ta-da. Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Come on in and join me in. Let's make a step card. Sorry for the reflection. We'll get rid of that in a second. How's everybody today? Come on in and say hi. We're going to be playing with some red rubber cling stamps today. Typically we use more acrylic, but we're going red rubber today. All right, we are going to start. Hi, Beth. How are you? Good to see you here. Are you getting ready for Thanksgiving? Are you doing something at your house? Or are you traveling? Todd, honey, can you go down and... Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so... shall we get started? This one is a fun one. I wanted to do something a little bit different than your traditional, just score it and fold it. I wanted to make something a little bit more cool. So, let's start off with just showing you the stamp set. So this one is quite large, actually. Quite impressed with this. And red rubber always stamps a little bit more crisp than an acrylic because it doesn't compress. You're going to your daughter's. That's nice. So this one has a variety of images. It has a Christmas ball, a sentiment, says have a joyous Christmas season, has a stuffed stocking, candy cane, a little tree cookie, a gingerbread cookie, a pine cone, a little snow globe, a wreath, to, from, and happy holidays on the bottom. So it's jam-packed full. And this is, I don't think this one was very expensive. So yeah, something pretty. But today we're going to use the wreath because there's just something about a wreath. Okay, so that's what we're using today. And this is the style of card that we're going to make. So if you've never seen this, it is quite dimensional. And this is the same exact size as an A2 card when it's folded up. So this will fit in your traditional A2 sized envelope. Okay, which of course a lot of us have A2s. I know there's 5x7s and all kinds of different sizes, but this is traditionally what I make for size. So let's go and make one of these. They're actually a lot easier than you think. Okay, so I brought in my cheat sheet just so that you guys can refer to this as well. We're going to grab a trimmer. And I need a piece of cardstock. We're going to use a couple of different kinds of trimmers today. So to start, we need a typical A2 sized card. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. Okay. And then for this one, I can't use my guillotine. You have to use a trimmer that cuts, is able to kind of stab your paper, because your cut line is not starting on the edge of a piece of paper. So I may have to move my camera for this. We'll see if I can get any further out because I can't get my trimmer underneath it. Okay, hang on 1 second here. Okay, see if I can. Still can't get it. We're going to do a little bit of tilting. Okay. So to start this card, we need to make the cut lines, and the cut lines on this diagram are shown in orangey red. Okay, and this is where the whole plunger cutter has to occur. You can't use a guillotine for this. You could use a craft knife, absolutely, but it definitely works better if you have a trimmer with a blade that just kind of where you can drop it anywhere. Okay, so looking at the diagram here, so we'll do a little breakdown. Hi, Sherry. Oh, are you chilly up in Edmonton today? Okay, so we need to go in 1 inch. See, it says 1 inch here. So we need to go in 1 inch and up 1 inch to start our cut. And we need to go to 5 1/4. And it's exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to take our piece of paper and we're going to jam it into our trimmer and put 1 inch on the other side of that cutting tool. And then it says we need to start 1 inch up. So this is where on my Fiskars, I have this little handle, and the handle is actually right over top the blade. So I know when I line up this little teeny handle with 1 and I drop it down, it punctures my card at 1 inch. So I know that just by using my tools. So then we need to take it up to 5 1/4. So it's in at 1 inch. And if I can get it to stay, 1 inch. Okay, pressing hard here. We need to go up to 5 1/4. And again, there is actually a line on my teeny handle, so I know my blade's under there, so I take my blade up to 5 1/4. Okay, so this is what you should have. You should have basically one single cut line, and it doesn't go off the end, and it doesn't go off this end either. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing this time, just 1 inch off the other side. So my cardstock is now sitting 1 inch from my blade. And again, I'm going to take my blade and line it up with the 1 inch mark and press it in. So it's now stabbed that paper. We're going to take that blade up to 5 1/4, the same exact height as the other side. Okay. So again, we have 2 simple cut lines. Okay. All right. So we can put our trimmer away because we don't need that anymore. We need our scoreboard now. Okay. Just checking to make sure we're still on camera here. Okay. I am going to bring in my stylus because I like this for doing nice crisp folds or score marks. My bone folder on this thing is so worn down. It makes a really broad mark. So if I want it a little crisper, I use my stylus, which is a little ball tool. Okay, and they come in different sizes, but this is the most fine and minute end. Okay, so this is where we have to really pay attention. So anything that we score on this diagram is indicated by a dotted line, okay? So there's multiple score lines, and there's some funny score lines, okay? So we're going to start off with scoring these 2, okay? So we need to go up to that 1 inch line, basically at the bottom of that cut. That's where we're going to score first, okay? So we're putting this in the score tool, and I'll put our map up here. Hopefully we can get a little bit of our map on at the same time. Okay. Just checking my screen here. Okay, 1 inch mark, and we're just doing from the top down to the cut line, and again from the edge to the cut line. Okay, so score 1 inch line just into the cut line, and then the same thing on the bottom. Okay, easy peasy, right? Okay, second one is at the 2 inch high mark. Again, outside to cut line, outside to cut line. So find the 2-inch mark, and you're going to score just to the cut line. Okay, and same on the bottom. I'm trying to make a nice crisp score line. Okay, so we're going to walk our way up here. We'll come to this one in a second. So this one is located at 5 1/4. Okay, and the same thing on the other side. You're going to do it right to the cut line, and this should be attached to the very end of your cut line there on both sides. Okay, so 5 1/4. So 5 1/4, and there's that cut line. Basically just going to score it to the cut line. Same with on the other side. Okay, and there we go. Okay, we have one more score line. Okay, this one is at 4 1/4. So this is the harder one to find because you're going to be stabbing your paper not on an edge, so you kind of have to use your best guess. The best way to do this is to take a straight edge. This helps because we're not doing it right from the edge, and I don't want to get my score line fumbled. I'm going to use my straight edge to help me and guide me to where I'm going to sink that score tool in. Okay, so 4 1/4. Okay, and then we have kind of like an H, so to speak. Okay, we're done with our scoring tool. We can set that aside. I'm going to put my stylus back up. Okay, now folding. This one's kind of a fun one. So these little 1-inch squares need to go down. So we're going to start by kind of tucking them down a little bit, working the paper. This line has to come up. So we're going to do a little fold, and that also puts these score lines, same position. They got to be a mountain, 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 mountain. Okay. Then everything just kind of collapses. So see, our valleys are here. And this is where the bone folder is going to be your best friend. We're just going to make everything crisp. So we're going to go in and do like the 1-inch kind of top mountain first. It just kind of helps set the scene for all the squishing that you have to do. And then you can probably get your bone folder in and underneath to get that little valley. Just use it to press. Okay, we're going to come back up to the top here. I got fuzzies everywhere. Give it a good press down. There we go. And then you can come in to do these little teeny 1-inch little mountain ones. So I will be giving away 2 cards today. So if you would like to receive one in the mail, take a few moments and leave a comment on the live video. I will be picking 2 people who have attended the live today at the end of the show, and I'll pick 2 winners and they'll get one of the 2 cards. So either my original, our blue one, or whatever we choose to create today. Okay, so does that make sense? I will try and link this down below. I will try and take a photograph and make sure that you guys have access to it, whether it be a PDF, like a link to a PDF, to make it a lot easier to come back and do this again if you wish. Okay, so we now have our step card. Okay, and the reason why they call it a step card is just because it steps forward, because you have a more obvious presentation surface. Okay, now we get to decorate, and this is where you guys come in. So we have some cute little 6x6 papers today, and you guys get to choose. So I'm going to go backwards here. 3. This is the Echo Park Snowed In, and it has some soft blues, navy, and a little touch of green, like a nice pretty sage green. So there's that we could use today. This is the Magic of Winter. This is all pretty shades of blue, a navy, a mid-tone, and a light blue. So that's an option. And our final option is Photoplay's North Pole Trading Company. And this one's kind of jam-packed of all different colors. It's got some pretty teals. I mean, I love that dark teal. Some reds, greens, golds, that kind of thing. So you guys choose what paper pad we're going to use for today's card just by indicating 1, 2, or 3 in the comment section. Love the blue card. Thanks, Sherry. Hi, Holly. It's 3 above today. Yay! I'm not sure what it here in Medicine Hat. I know it was close to 0 at least. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Louise. You need to make a birthday card for your sister. Awesome. Yeah, fun fold. And like I said earlier, I will post that graphic so that you guys have something to refer to. You can save it to your computer. So Louise likes number 3. Beth likes number 1. Holly likes number 2. Okay, you guys are making this hard. I need one more vote. And the tiebreaker is Nora. She likes the penguins. Okay, thanks, Nora. We will be using the Magic of Winter today. And because Nora likes penguins, I think we should use the penguin paper. What do you guys think about that? Oh, there's cute snowmans too. Okay, see if I can find the penguins here. There they are. Snowed in. Sorry, Lynn. Sherry was 3. That's funny. Okay. 2 votes for everything. That's funny. Okay. So we'll use our penguins because they're just too stinking cute not to use. And we need 2 other papers to use. And you know what? I really like this really simple snowflake. It's just a tone-on-tone blue. So let's use that. I don't use these a lot, so I'm okay with cutting that paper up. So we have some snowflakes and some penguins. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, that's a pretty snowflake too. Oh, and the florals. That's very cool. This one's kind of a tone-on-tone. Oh, the trees are pretty. They're really pretty. Just trying to think, maybe a darker paper. Oh, this one has stars in it too. Hang on. There's too many pretty ones. Okay, maybe we'll go with, we already have stars, so let's, or snowflakes. So let's go this really, really dark tone-on-tone. So this one has snowflakes, tiny snowflakes, and kind of like swirls, like wind, I guess, blizzardy. So we'll use that. That's what's nice about having coordinating papers, right? You know your card is going to have the same shade on it regardless. So yeah. Let's see. Hi, Lisa. Like the dark paper too. I know, that really sets it off. Okay. So let's start off by cutting our paper pieces to fit on our card base. So I'm going to bring in, this is how I would do it myself, because sometimes it's just easier to measure things and just know that you've gotten them right rather than fart around with somebody else's directions. So we're going to make a panel like this. It's almost a square, not quite. So I want to know, put the ruler in the right direction here. This is 3.5 by 3 1/4. And I'm just trying to figure out what would be the best paper. I so love this. So maybe we should use this the most because it's too cute. Let's do that. Okay, so 3 1/4 by 3 1/2. And because this is a paper that has a direction to it, I mean, sure, you could put your penguins sideways or upside down, but let's not. So I just want to make sure I get the right direction. So we need our 3 1/2 wide. Okay, so 3 1/2 wide is there. Okay, and we need our 3 1/4 high. 3 1/4 high. Now, if you don't have a guillotine trimmer, I highly, highly, highly recommend. It's my favorite kind of trimmer, and they're cut so cleanly. There we go. It's like we have some cutie patooties on the front. Okay. Now, let's do the band below them. I know, isn't that, they're both pretty. Okay. So this should be 1 inch wide, which it is. And this should be 5 1/2 because that's the width of our card. So 1 inch by 5 1/2. And I think we will do this paper for that. So we need 1 inch by 5. So let's cut our 1 inch first. Now I know Rhea has these trimmers in the shop ready to go into your carts. So if you're looking for a new trimmer, again, I highly recommend the Tim Holtz Tonic Studios one. Love it. Okay, there is our cute little band. Okay, so we got 2 pieces. Okay, this is one where you have to remember that you want to tuck your stuff all the way down. So flatten your card. Okay. And then we want to measure between this score line, which is the bottom of that V, to the top. So it measures 3 1/4. Okay. So there we go. And then, of course, it's 1 inch wide, just because I know we've plunged our cut at 1 inch. So we need 2 of those. So we, I'm just trying to think here. 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. Can I get it? Probably not out of the other one. That's okay. 1 inch. And this has to be 3 1/4 for height. And this is to put back in your stash. And we need 2 of those. Because the paper is only 6 inches wide, you can't quite get a second one out of it. But that's okay. No big deal. Okay. 3 1/4. Sorry for all the noises here. My phone is getting pinged with messages. All right. So these are our side little babies. This is our bottom little baby. And our cute little penguins. Okay, let's make this easy and let's adhere everything down so I don't have to chase it around my desk. Okay, let's make sure we put our penguins on the right way too. I mean, I guess they could be cute upside down, but I think it would look kind of weird. I wonder if anybody would notice if you put them upside down. That would be funny. Okay. Sorry, I'm an over-adheser. I'm just trying to make sure it's going to stick. Okay. We're going to put our penguins in the middle. Oh. Okay. There. Cutie patooties. Okay, let's do our dark navy down the sides. Everybody, all my American friends ready for their Thanksgiving this week? Us Canadians, we are already over. Our Thanksgiving is already done and over with. We do ours in October. So, Okay. Adhere, adhere, adhere. I'm trying not to go too far into that little scoring ditch, because sometimes your cards won't fold up properly. So if you do it, put your paper just slightly above that score line. You can always trim off the top because it's gonna like sit up at the top. So you can always trim it off. It's not a big deal. And I wouldn't even worry about these little ones because they really don't get seen. I mean, you could absolutely put some kind of pattern paper back there, but I honestly don't think it's necessary. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit more on those ends. Okay. And this one's a pretty little snowflake. And we're going to butt it right up against that penguin paper. That's so cute. Okay. So there we go. All it is 4 pieces of paper, and I honestly think you could probably make this. This could almost be a repeatable quick card. Like you could do multiples quite quickly. I know, Lisa, you could almost put them upside down, right? Okay, so how does that look so far? Cute, right? Cute, cute, cute. Okay. Now, let's go back to our stamp set, because we might want to make a change here. So, this is the original. Okay, where did I put the stamp set? It's buried already. Okay, so we can change this up, because that wreath is quite large, and our penguins are too cute to cover up. So, we could absolutely change up our image today. Do you guys want to do something different? So, here is the images in the stamp set. If you want to put in the comment section what you think you would like us to put on the card. Do you want to go stocking or snow globe maybe? Or do you want to go with the wreath? You guys decide today what goes on our little penguin card. And, oops. And I want to show you how big kind of things are. Because, I mean, like I said, this wreath, it covers the majority of that square. So you guys decide today. Wreath, stocking, snow globe. What do you guys think would look cute on there? Stocking, says Lisa. That's what I was kind of thinking, Lisa. It's not overly huge. And we could absolutely, Louise likes the snow globe. Stocking for Beth. Margaret for snow globe. Okay. Anybody else? We got a tie going between the stocking and the snow globe. Okay, so Sherry says snow globe. So we have 3 snow globes. Anybody else out there? Anybody else? Anybody else? Oops. Oh, my stray piece of paper. Stocking, Lynn. Okay, somebody has to break the tie now. I need one more vote. So we're not using the wreath, and I'm okay with that. All right, guys, I need one more vote. Somebody's got to break the tie. I wish Rhea was here. She could break the tie for me. Todd, that's my husband. He's like behind me. Stocking or snow globe?
Snow globe, I guess.
Okay, so Todd says snow globe, and there we go. Holly says snow globe. So you guys who voted snow globe, that's what we're doing. Okay. No. Okay. Voting again. It was a nice try, Louise. Okay, let's set these babies aside. Now, if you guys aren't aware, your Misties, regardless of what size, this is a mini Misty. Oops, my magnets just dropped together. They have this removable, it's almost like a mouse pad, but it's a piece of foam. So if you take this out of the back of your Misty, because normally it would sit here with your paper on top, when you take this out, put your paper back in, this now accommodates the thickness of a rubber stamp, okay? Now, if you have unmounted rubber stamp, which means it does not have this foam backer, which is tacky, like this is now sticky, not like tape, but it sticks to the acrylic surface. You can actually take a little bit of removable adhesive and slather the back of it and use it in your MISTI. Now you're going to have to clean off your lid, but it will still function and still work. Okay, so just so you know, you can use a cling mount or rubber stamps in your MISTIs. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a piece of paper here. Just going to grab a scrap. Okay, so, okay, pulling the magnets apart. You ever caught yourself in between the two magnets as they snap together? Yeah, that's not fun. Okay, today we are going to use, I think I'm going to use Juniper Mist because it's a really, really dark navy, and I think it will work really well with our penguins and snowflakes. So I got a schmoots on here. Must have set it on something. Okay, we're gonna ink this up. This is Catherine Pooler Juniper Mist, and if you don't know, Catherine Pooler inks are my favorite ink. They are every single one of them is in the store, and these stamp pads ink up stamps like a dream. So if you even want to try one, I suggest definitely trying a Catherine Pooler. They are filled with ink, like super filled. Okay, we have our fabulous image. Now, we don't have a lot of color besides our tones of blue in here. So I really don't want to bring in too much more color into our snow globe. But we do have a little bit of orange. We do have some rosy cheeks, which are cute. And there's this almost like soft pinky tan that is a good idea. So you can always go back to your pattern papers as a reference to, okay, now what color of ink am I going to use to complete this card? So we have a fairly simple image. A lot of it's going to be snow. Let's start off with our wood base. And let's go with maybe kind of that light tannish pinkish tone. And I'm going to pick, we're going to do Copics because Copics work with Catherine Pooler's inks pretty good. So coloring today is going to be super easy. So this is E21. What I'm going to try and do is leave a little bit of a white highlight on our wood base here. So I'm not going to completely color it in. I am going to leave like a shine mark. So there's a void of color there. So this is light or left white, and so is a little lip of that wood base there too. So I'm going to color the complete bottom part. Okay, so let's go in, and there doesn't seem to be much snow on the roof. There's a little bit on the top. So let's just color the roof in with the same color here. And it appears to be a little dormer. That's what that image is. And we're going to run down the soffit on the other side here. Okay. Brilliant. Like super duper easy peasy. Now let's maybe pull in the blue and do our house blue. I'm going to pull in my Copic chart. So I use this as a reference point for all my Copics. I think I have the full set except for one. I just never bothered to over the years. And this again is a great way to match your blue. So we need something kind of dusty. So I'm going to say like a B93 is probably a great match. B93 and a B95. B93, B95. Okay. So I'm gonna start with our lighter, B93, and I'm gonna completely coat our house like such. And again, this image is so simple. You can absolutely do flat color. You do not need to add anything for shading. The cross hatching in the image it kind of does that for you. But if you want to, you can take a little bit of the B95, which is a little bit darker, and just go over some of those hatch lines that indicate that there's a little bit of a shadow, and call it done. Because the image is kind of telling you that for shadow. Oh boy. Okay. So, we need to kind of do a little bit in the sky. So, I got a design team who's chatting away. I'm not sure if you guys can hear the dings or not. Okay, so this is a B91. This is even lighter. And we're just going to put a little tiny bit of color into the sky. Like, I'm not even coloring it all in. We're just going to put a hint. And we're going to do a little bit of blue on this piece here just for giggles. Okay. Since our trees are pretty much blocked in, we don't have to color those. So we can literally call this done. Could do a little tiny bit in the snowbank, but you don't have to. And there we go. It's like really simply colored. I mean, you could pull out the Crayolas for sure. Okay, Northern Lights. Yeah, that would be kind of pretty. So you can choose to do this two different ways. So you can cut along the outside of the line, and that's fine. But I think I'm going to give this an edge. So the rule to fussy cutting is don't move your scissors, move your paper. Okay? This will make everything a lot easier. And it's easier to move the paper in your non-dominant hand and use the scissors where they're comfortable. So I'm just choosing, and I've not been even here. Let me go back a bit. Choose how far off your image you want to cut to give it a nice white outline. And this is what your dies would do. Now, I'm not 100% sure there's even coordinating dies for this stamp set. I know there's not any in the shop, but the company may have it. This is Impression Obsession that makes this stamp. And I want to show you too, I went outside the lines with my Copic, and I want to show you the trick to resolving that issue here. 1 second. Okay. So this is the reason why they have a zero blenderless pen. So this is ink that pushes that color back into the paper. So for instance here, so I've drawn outside my line. Okay, you're going to take your zero blenderless pen and you're going to go over that ink, and it takes that and pushes it down farther into the paper. That's what its job is. Doesn't really blend per se. I mean, you can't use it to blend light blue for a dark blue. That's not the way it's designed. I think it's actually ill-named, but that's just my personal opinion. Okay, 1 second here. Okay. So now we're going to make this really easy. And we're just going to put this down at the bottom. And we're going to use some foam tape because we can. Okay. So just going to cut off a couple of pieces here. Easy peasy. You guys can use the like pre-cut ones too. I just happen to have a roll. It's my favorite. And peel off the backer like such. And the little penguins are going to have a little snow globe. Okay, now one last thing. Let's give this a sentiment. So we can choose from 2. So have a joyous Christmas or happy holidays. What would you guys like to do? I will find a piece of cardstock and get it ready. And you guys choose a sentiment. Well, I clean off. Oh, I did clean off my stamp. Almost. Okay. So, have a joyous Christmas or happy holidays. Happy holidays. I got 1 vote for happy holidays. So this one is like long and skinny, and this is doubled up. Joyous Christmas, joyous Christmas, joyous Christmas. Okay, that's 3. Anybody else out there want to vote? Happy holidays. Okay. That's 3 to 2. So I'm going with have a joyous Christmas season. Okay. We're going to slap that down. Throw in our cardstock. And to make everything cohesive, I will use that Juniper Mist again. Because it's easy peasy. There we go. Quick press. And that looks pretty darn good. Quick wipe with the cloth. The Penguin movie, yes. So cute. Okay. We're going to bring in our trimmer. We are going to chop this off. There we go. Okay. I think we'll just make this basically a simple rectangle today, because that's just way easier than farting around with things. Okay, a little bit more. I'm trying to eyeball it. Okay, so then we have a joyous Christmas season. And it's weird looking down there to me. So I think I don't want to cover up our penguins, though. What do you guys think? Top or bottom? I don't think it. We could have put this up more and it could have been in the middle, but top or bottom? Top or bottom? And actually, you know, it would look really nice. Wonder if this is just a scrap. Ha ha. There we go. That's what we'll do. We'll mat it to make it stand out. So I'm just going to throw this on our little scrap of that kind of swirls, and there, that sets it off a little bit better. I got 2 votes for bottom. Okay. Sounds good. Chop, chop. Thank God for scraps. And you know what? It's okay to hang things off too. Like if this is hanging off here, as long as you don't put any adhesive behind it, I'm good with that. Absolutely. You know what? I'm going to also grab. I was thinking about this today. So the other day, I think it was last week, we used this stuff, and it's sparkle paper. Purple, silver, and white. And I think, this would look kind of cool. I'm not sure if this would, if I put silver or white, maybe the white. Gotta find the cut pieces. Cut piece. That's not long enough. Okay, so now that we have decided bottom. Okay, because I got 3 votes bottom, 2 votes top. And I can't find my piece of white that's cut. I swear I had a piece of white. Okay. Now, do you guys want to add, this is sparkle. It's, you guys probably can't see it at all. It's very, very subtle sparkle. So before I set this down, let's put like a tiny little strip of it on this piece. Maybe we'll put a tiny bit at the top. But do you guys want to go silver or white? Because this is like card process in the making, right? Because sometimes you go, okay, this is what's in my head, but let's go a completely different direction. Or I've got a better idea. So definitely on the bottom, I can stick some tape on this. Oh, I can't get it off my desk with my nails. So we'll stick a piece of foam tape underneath our sentiment while I get some votes from you guys. There, so she'll be ready to stick down. For sure. And then we just need a silver or a white vote. I'm not sure if the silver's too flashy. And the white would totally be better. But see, it's not the same white as the white on our penguins. So, you know what? Executive decision here. Let's go silver because I think it's sets off a little bit better. Okay. We're just going to do a super thin, kind of like a little bead of silver. So that's the beauty with this trimmer, is that it can cut like super thin strips. I love this trimmer for this. And it cuts this through this nice thick paper like butter. So I've got 2 different little strips here. They're pretty close in size. Okay. And we're going to add a tiny bit of wet adhesive because this just allows me to move things if I have to. It can be adjusted. Now if I can get my glue to come out, it would be good. Little dab will do ya. I'm not putting like a huge amount on. Let's grab thy tweezers. Here. And let's put this little detail. Maybe let's go at the bottom. Make sure it's over far enough. And this is why we use wet adhesive, people. Because this will dry clear even if I get it on that card surface. There. And this one we're going to put across the top of the card. So I don't quite need the full length. Oh, my son's hacking up a lung downstairs. Okay. And this just helps unify your design, that you got a little bit of sparkle at the top and a little bit of sparkle at the bottom. Okay, flip it over and just do haircut. Haircut. Dun, 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 and have everything fly everywhere, right? You know how things go. Okay, so let's figure out our joyous Christmas. Do I have adhesive under there? I do. So, you know what? The nice thing about foam stuff is you can generally get in there and cut off a piece because it's not like, I didn't give it a really good push yet. So I can cut that corner out so it doesn't stick and hold my card closed. Okay. Come on, Becker. There we go. And we're going to put it right about there. There we go. There. So, like I was saying earlier, this could be a card that could be mass-produced, I think, because the most finicky part is actually getting the bases done, but when you're doing mass production, you always do the same thing multiple times. So, for instance, you go cut all of your card bases. So, you go cut your 8.5 by 11 in half. Then you go and do all of the cut marks for your design. Do all of your cards like that. And then you do all the scoring on all of your card bases. Excuse me. So I think even though one takes a little bit of time, I seriously think that you could mass produce this for sure. And because I like the bling, let's bling our card up just a little bit here. So this is just a sparkle pen. And we could do the whole globe. So for this one, when you need a little bit more, you squeeze it. It actually says press or push here. And we're just going to put a little bit of sparkle over top of that snow globe. There we go. And it probably needs a little bit more of a squeeze. There we go. It's a little on the dry side today. There we go. And you could go in and paint, like, it's kind of nice about this brush is, like, you can make anything sparkle. So go in and do all of the scarves. And it's clear, so you still see the color below it. It just adds sparkle. It's fantastic. So all of your little blue scarves, do the little fella who's underneath our sign there. Just make them all sparkly. I mean, your recipient probably isn't going to notice, but you will. And that's what counts. Right? So cute. And who doesn't love blue for winter, right? So for this card here, I did the ribbon with the same thing. I did the sparkle pen over top of the coloring. I then took in what's called Cosmic Shimmer Fluffy Stuff. And it goes on kind of like a thick paint. You don't need a lot. You don't even really need to squeeze the bottle a lot. And I just went and dabbed it on. Drew a couple of lines where I thought maybe some snow might sit. And then once it's almost dry, I took my heat tool and then it becomes three-dimensional. So it puffs up. It's super cool. And there's a lot in this bottle. So this is going to last you quite a few years. I also took some stickles. So if you don't know what stickles are, oh, and I can't reach my one. It's in my thing. Let me grab another one. I always have like clear, sparkly ones. I think this one is diamond stickles. The other one I like is, I think it's in here too. Nope, that's glossy accents. Nope. Hang on. I think it's in the bottom of my cup, and that's why I can't reach it. Yes. So these are my two favorite stickles for doing like glitter because they have a clear base. So Stardust is kind of like a bluey, more bluey hue till it sparkles, and Diamond is more gold. But I used that to add on the pattern paper. So I made my pattern paper glittery. So I just went over like the odd dot, the stickles, and it just made it glittery. So just something to customize your paper and make it more festive. I mean, you could definitely go over with stickles on their earmuffs or their pom-poms, or just the centers of those large snowflakes would be kind of pretty too. Yeah, so just some ideas just to make your cards extra sparkly, but doesn't break the bank. So these are great products to use, like these ones for sure. So yeah. So my lovelies, I think we have called it a day. I will try and put that PDF or an image linked in the comments section for you guys to reference to make your own step card, which will be this. And I'm going to call it an afternoon. And I will see you guys again next Sunday. But right after the live, I will post 2 winners to receive cards from me. And I will mail them out tomorrow morning. And I hope you guys have a fabulous Thanksgiving. To all my American friends and to all my Canadian friends, stay warm. And I will be posting 2 winners right away. And if you can just send the Scrap and Stamp message with your mailing address. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you soon.